So I've been walking with Christ for about 3 years now, and where I'm at today, I could have gotten in 6 months. Okay, if I truly locked in with Him. And I'm making this video because one of my clients asked me. He said, "Chris, I'm tired of feeling unfulfilled with God. I want to truly lock in with Him. How can I grow with Him as fast as possible?" So that was a really good question. Shout out to you, my boy. And we're gonna talk about how to speedrun your walk with Christ. All right. So here's what I would do step by step if I didn't have a relationship with Him, or if my relationship felt off with Him. I would, number one, go out on a day you don't have work, okay, or after work, whatever that is for you, right? I hate on this camera's uncentered, right? I would go out on a day when I didn't have anything to do, and I had no responsibilities. I'd abstain from my phone, right? I wouldn't take my phone with me, and I'd go out with a Bible, purchase a Bible. I would go out with a Bible. I would go out with a notebook, and I would go out and I would walk around my neighborhood or walk somewhere, and I would go and sit down. I would go on a long walk, clear my head, talk to Him, pour my emotions into Him, and then I would go and I would sit down somewhere where I can write. And I would just pour out my heart to Him. I would tell Him everything that's going on with me in my life, and just tell Him, like, okay, this is what's happening in my life. This is where I want to be, whatever the case may be. And I would look into those journals, and then I would even journal again. I would even journal what is holding me back from growing in my walk with Christ, because truly it's a cause and effect relationship. Biblical principle, sowing and reaping. You're going to sow the bad habits, you're going to reap bad things. Okay, that's why I was so lost before I found God. I was sowing all these bad habits. I wasn't taking care of my body. I was eating junk food every single day. I was gooning about 3 to 4 times a day. I had no friends in my life. I wasn't very social. I wasn't going out of my house much. I'm trying to think what else was wrong with me at the time. I had no purpose in my life. My dopamine receptors were fried because I was eating all that junk food. I was just watching TikTok every day, and when I was on TikTok, I would see the beautiful girls shaking their butts. So I had a horrible view of women, right? Everything is a cause and effect situation. So I would look at the things that are holding me back from my walk with Christ. Okay, things that are unbiblical. Okay, for example, are you hanging out with friends who lead you into sin? Like they're leading you to drink or smoke, or they're going out and they're saying unruly things or unholy things. They're talking gossip about people. Are you in a negative space where God isn't upheld at the highest honor? All right, people where they're talking about God, where they're talking down to Him. Are you around? Are you going out and you're around alcohol? Are you going around and you're around drunks? Are you eating junk food? Are you, whatever that is for you, whatever is holding you back from your walk with Christ? I would do a live autopsy. I would journal everything that is wrong with my life, what is holding me back, and I would find these things. Okay, so for example, what was holding me back? Um, Number one, it was the people I was around. They were allowing me to like go out, party, drink, do all these things. Those weren't holding me back. And then along with that, what were the other things? I wasn't taking care of my body. We know that our body is a temple. So I would start taking care of my body, right? You know, what are you taking in every day? Are you eating cookies? Are you eating the seed oil stuff? Like, I know it's bad I'm drinking this, right? What are you drinking and eating every day? Are you, around people who are uplifting the Lord, helping you grow in your walk with Christ? I would take a look at all those things. I would take a look at those things holding me back from my walk with Christ, those things that are like leading me astray, and I would try and get rid of them quickly. So, those triggers on TikTok, delete the TikTok app, or clean your For You page. Just have it all be Bible content, God content, Jesus content. All right, get rid of the friends who are holding you back from your walk with Christ. Go to a youth group, okay, and meet friends who are Christians, or just don't have any friends for a while, bro. Shut up and just spend time with God. All right, lock in this winter and spend time with Him. Okay, I would do that. That would be my first step. Getting rid of everything that is holding me back from my walk with Christ. Number two, I would figure out my purpose. Figure out my purpose. Figure out why I'm here. All right, Jesus counted the hair on your head. You know you are here with a purpose. Know you are here with a mission. All right, everyone has. It's not an accident. You're not here by accident. God created you with something in mind. Okay, now you're not gonna know it. You're not gonna know it off rip. But the way I would figure it out is I would look back in time and I would see my younger self and I would think when I didn't have a care about what anyone thought about me, what was I into? Okay? And for me, I always liked YouTube. I always liked making people laugh. And now I'm into Jesus stuff. That's kind of how I figured this stuff out. All right, it didn't happen overnight. Gradually, I started making YouTube videos, then I found God, started making biblical videos. Okay, it doesn't happen overnight. But if you find something where you can take actionable steps towards it, that's a good thing. Because when you walk in that path, you will illuminate, the path will illuminate more. All right, I started making videos, then it got illuminated. Okay, I want to make self-improvement, then got illuminated more. I want to make Christ-focused self-improvement, then I got illuminated more. I want to make a coaching program on this. Okay, same with you. I don't know what it is, but I'll look at things that you were interested in as a kid, or things that, if money wasn't an option, you would pursue it, and I would go and I would take actionable steps towards it. Maybe you always wanted to start a business. Maybe you always wanted to be an astronaut. Maybe you always wanted to do sports. Okay, whatever that is for you. And side note, I have people come to me and like, I want to be a baseball player, but I can't be a baseball player. Bro, there's other options you can do in baseball. You can be a scout. You can be a GM. You can be a coach. Okay, you can be, a trainer. You can make content on it. Bro, there's so many options in every facility, every aspect of life. If you can't do this, do something else, bro. Use your head. Stop. It's not a 1A, 1B type, or it's not a 1A type thing. There are other options, okay? It's not so concrete, all right? But that's what I would do. I would find my purpose and I would start working towards it because that's why you were here. At the end of the day, that's why you're here. And I would also find a mentor, okay? I would also find a mentor because I made a lot of mistakes, all right? I figured out, yeah, I wanted to cut out lust. I figured out I wanted to cut out junk food. I figured out, I wanted to cut out with my friends. Okay, but it's hard. It's hard to do those things, okay? And, it took me 3 years because I was doing it all on my own. But if I could go back in time and I could speed run it, I would get a mentor. And you get a mentor by, number one, joining online communities, having accountability partners, something that I will be setting up here in a year from now. Like, I will have this Christian group where we can all grow with each other. But I would find a mentor, whether it be online or someone in your church. Okay, I would go to church and I would see someone that is killing it. Maybe he's a man who I want to become. Maybe he has a family, wife, nice car, whatever that is. And I would go and I'd sit down and say, hey, brother, I like what you're doing in life. You're where I want to be when I'm your age. Let me take you out for breakfast, okay? And I would just pick his brain. Same with whatever you're doing, whatever your purpose is. Okay, if you want to do houses for a living, real estate, bro, yes, you can learn it all yourself, bro, but it's going to take time. All right, if you get a mentor, you can learn from his mistakes. Okay, and side note, I do coaching. I do Christian coaching. I make men the happiest, holiest, most disciplined versions of themselves. I help them grow in their walk with Christ. If you are interested in that, my Instagram is Chris_. But if hopefully you're taking notes, number one, you did the live autopsy. You figured out what's wrong with your life. Number two, you get a mentor to help you get rid of those areas. And number three, you're focusing on your purpose. And then number four, spend time with God. Spend more time with God. Or you can always be spending more time with God. Yes, the YouTube's nice. Yes, Netflix is fun. Hulu, going out, hanging out with friends all this time. But dedicate time with God. Dedicate time to God. All right, make sure you're going to church every week. All right, make sure you're reading this every morning before you start anything in your day. Make sure you're reading this at night before you go to bed. Make sure you're giving God, time to talk to him, telling him what's going on in your life. Because God cannot work in your life if you don't give it to him. Okay? I had all these things going on for me, but he wasn't working in my relationship. Okay? And I realized I didn't hand it over to him. I wanted it all to be through me. But as soon as I handed it over to him, trust me, a lot changed. Okay? I ended up getting rid of that girl. Okay? You need to give God every thing in your life. Okay? If you want him to work in a certain area, you need to give it to him. And not just say, God, I need your help in this. You need to start doing what God would do, doing what Jesus would do. Okay? If you want to act if you want to have that loving girl, right? But you don't give him your relationship, you're never gonna get that loving girl. All right, you need to start acting like that man that can attract that loving girl. Going to the gym, taking care of your body, you know, um, courting her, you know, abstaining from lust, growing, like making sure you have your emotions in check, you know, handling your anger. All right, you need to be doing all these things. Okay, so those are the 4 things I would do to speed run my walk with Christ. And if you genuinely lock in with Him, like I've talked about this winter, where you just focus on Him, I guarantee you will be a completely different person. All right, I grew so much in my last winter when I locked in with Him. I don't want you guys to waste yours. Okay, if you're serious about this, and you do these actionable steps, these things that I would I would have done, which I gave to my student client. Sorry, I don't. It feels weird calling him a student, right? But if you do the things I've been giving to my client, right? I promise you, bro. In the end, you will grow. All right. If you are interested in getting a mentor, my Instagram is Christoph_Langen_. Message me. We'll hop on a call. We'll talk about life. If we're interested and we work well together, we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, I love you guys. And all glory to God. I put my faith and trust in Him. You should as well. I'm praying for each and every single one of you. Hopefully, you're having a beautiful week.